Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. We just watched a Kaizer Chiefs lose 1-0 to NEC from Eredivisie. It was a very good game, but I'm going to have a big question I have to ask. Are we going to benefit from playing against these Netherlands opposition? And I'm going to ask the question why. But before I get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe. But anyway, let's get into it. The main question why I ask, are we going to benefit from playing these teams, is because when I watch most of the first half, most of the second half, because towards the end when we started putting the youngsters, at least we started seeing, when the second team came, we started seeing the team at least trying to play, and getting more of the feel of the ball in that second period. But when I watched most of the first half, I asked myself a simple question. And that question was, when we are playing a team that is better opposition, and they have the ball like 80% of the time, and we don't have the ball, we're only playing on counters. This is my question, and you guys will let me know what you think about it. But does it make sense for us as Kaizer Chiefs to be playing a whole preseason in the Netherlands where the opposition we're playing is so much better than us that they always have 80% of possession, and when we have the ball, we can't really do anything about it, we lose the ball, etc.? The reason I'm asking this is because when we come to the PSL, there's only about 3 teams out of the, let's say, 15 teams that we're going to play. Only about 3 teams that really go pound for pound with Chiefs, and that's Pirates, that's Sundowns, and Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch. The rest of the teams tend to sit back. They let us play with the ball, and then they hit us on counters, which is how most of the teams have been beating us, because they just hit us on counters and they score. So I started asking myself a question. Okay, if 80% of the teams we're going to play are going to be sitting back, then should we not be playing opposition that kind of is always sitting back? Because that's what we're going to face most of the season. We're going to face most of the season. These guys are sitting back waiting to hit cheese on a counter. So the whole preseason that we're going to be playing our whole preseason, let me say, I'm not taking away from the fact that it's good to play, test yourself with good opposition. But when your team is choosing not to, is playing players that are not controlling the ball, etc., and forcing the team that you are attacking, like NEC, to sit back, so we can see how it's like to probe when they're sitting deep, etc. When we're not doing that, then it makes me wonder, what are we going to do when we're faced with those situations and we haven't resolved them in preseason? Because the biggest thing last season is that Chiefs struggled with trying to unlock teams, and then they just they get the ball, they hit one ball behind us, they score. And I don't think we have basically sorted out that issue. But let me go to the game. First half was interesting. We played our so-called weaker team. Well, not so-called, it is technically our weaker team. But the interesting thing about this weaker team when I was watching them is that, funny enough, this weaker team that we watch seems to play more as a team defensively than when the second string team comes in. Meaning that our strongest team is the team that I think is conceding the most goals. And that's a strange thing that I'm saying. Because in yesterday's game, our strongest teams conceded 3 goals. In today's game, our strongest team conceded the 1 goal that we conceded. So how is it that our weakest team is finding a way to create better chances, and on top of that, they conceding less goals? But our strongest team is struggling to create better chances, but they concede the most goals. That was an interesting observation. But anyway, first half was good. We had decent chances with Double Sereno, one-on-ones, etc. But before I get into this, I want to say my player of the match. I wanted to say this. My player of the match is this boy Mabaso from the DDC. How is this boy not getting enough minutes in this Kaizer Chiefs team? How is he not playing a full 45 minutes? Because I just want to see, I'm asking for myself, I want to see how Mabaso plays with Utabotsele. That's all I want to see, because Mabaso came in the game and we started creating chances, we started unlocking the team. Mabaso was just incredible. I won't lie. I'm impressed. Hlongwane, I can't really judge him on this game, playing him out of position, which was weird for me. Why do you play Hlongwane as a winger and Lilepo as a striker when we all know Lilepo is not going to play striker? Lilepo is always going to play a winger. So why don't you play Lilepo as a winger and play Hlongwane in his position as striker? You know, Nabi, this... But anyway, let me not get into it because it's going to make me frustrated, because a part of me just feels like how are we going to see what Hlongwane can give us if he's not playing in his natural position? Why must he play as a winger? Like, maybe Nabi one day will school me specifically on why he would have like a Duba, a top striker like Duba, but play Duba left wing and play Morris as striker. These are the kind of tactics Nabi tends to do, and they frustrate the heck out of me. And they don't have a real reason. Like, Nabi can say, no, he wants him to defend more, but like, yeah, then force him to do that in training, but in the match, put him in his position. But anyway, let me say this: the first half, yeah, we were we weren't playing. Like, we were basically defending, and we were doing this thing where we were forcing to try play from the back. But the problem is that we don't have players who are comfortable on the ball. So it was the same thing over and over and over again. And it got to a point where I was watching it in the first half where it was a bit difficult to really enjoy watching Chiefs play. I won't lie. I got to a point where I was disliking what we were doing, because we would get the ball, and it would be Peterson and Abo Miguel there, and then they would start the ball, and then they would pass it, let's say, to Frosler, and then Frosler would try pass it to Modi. Modi would not have a person to pass in the middle. He would have to go back. They mark us. Or when he tries to pass it to Abo Matlo and stuff, they lose the ball easily, and then we are now defending again, and now we're back to defend. So that was our game. If we go to the right, goes to the right, it goes to a certain point, and then it comes back, it goes to Solomon's can't do anything, it goes back to I think it was Quinica, goes back to Quinica, it goes back to the keeper goes back, the keeper tries to kick it far, boom, and then it's like it was difficult to watch. I won't lie. No, it was just so difficult to watch, because it was painful actually to watch. And I know this is the preseason. This is the time you have to, if you want to play like this, you have to do it from preseason and get it right. But when you don't have the right players, yeah. Anyway, the first half was that Morris was basically, guys, I don't want to sound like I'm being a bad person by saying this, but remove Morris from our team today, right? And us play 10 against 11, and I think the result would have still been the same, because I don't know what Morris is doing for us on the field. Like, as a striker, he's not doing much. When they're kicking the ball forward for him to be the first man, he's headering it, but it's going to the opposition. I don't know. I don't know with Morris, but yeah. Cirino had good touches. I think Cirino played a better game this round. It was good to see. Interesting enough for me is I wonder why Nabi plays Cirino in the less attacking team, and he plays Cirino with the more defensive players. It's like, I don't know what the logic is, but we've seen for a while now that Cirino doesn't play with the strongest, most attacking team. He plays more with the weaker attack team, the team that basically gets outplayed. And then Cirino ends up being the one man who's trying to unlock that defense. And yeah, I don't know. Mfundo Vilakazi, couldn't really see much of him. Mfundo Vilakazi is a lot of work, because he did get moments to really do something, and he just didn't grab it by the horns, So yeah, I don't know what to really say about that one. Maklo and Zwane, I won't really talk about. Like, I didn't enjoy their game. Yeah, but anyway. And I'm trying to be fair, because today they played better than they did yesterday. But yeah, like the fact that that team had almost 80% possession, I think, at some point. it speaks to what your midfield is doing. If your midfield is struggling to get comfortable on the ball, it shows. The second group of players that came in, Thabo Cele is the reason why they scored the opposition scored the goal, which is interesting enough because Thabo Cele was more wanting to take the game forward. He was trying to make us play more, etc. But then what he did is that we had a free kick and he kicked the ball right to the opposition. The opposition got the ball, passed same time to the striker scored. So Thabo Cele is the reason for the goal. And I don't know why, because like I said, our more attacking team is there. But when I was watching our attacking team, I was like, our attacking team is very bad defensively because even how they move and shift play, they don't shift like the weaker team. Like they leave so many spaces because for the first time when our second team came, this NEC team, they got more chances at goal than they did before when they were playing the weaker team. So it was interesting. So I took that, with what it was. Second half was good. Mabaso, like I say, I'm going to repeat, Mabaso was amazing. And he only played like 8 minutes. 8 to 9 minutes there. He only played about 8 to 9 minutes. But in that 8 to 9 minutes, Chiefs was the better team. Just because of Mabaso. For that 8 to 9 minutes, it was the first time Chiefs started actually putting their stamp on the game. And it was one player. And this just makes me know one thing. You cannot run away from quality players. It's so unfortunate, but it's sometimes good to see that you honestly cannot run away from quality players. And Mabaso just showed me that one player changed how Chiefs played in an instant because Mabaso even came on for Thabo Cele and he had a better performance than Thabo Cele who played more minutes than him. So I want to just highlight that. And guys, that's the game. We didn't get to see Flavio. We saw Chislett. I think Chislett is going to see the bench a lot this season. There was a hope that he's going to come in and be like a very, very, very good player. But a part of me feels he's going to see the bench. It's not coming together as yet. But other than that, I think that was the game. Shinga, I can't really comment on his performance there. I wanted to say a shout out to Aiden McCarthy. He also was one of the reasons why we were starting to advance the ball in the right places because the one thing Aiden McCarthy is good at from what I'm seeing is that he's a ball-playing center-back, so he's able to locate midfielders who are open in the center of the park, and he doesn't just pass like the wide player. So Aiden McCarthy knows how to find like the best options in the field apart from just passing the person closest to you. So that's an interesting thing. And one of the disappointing things again is that we just don't have enough shots at goal, but I think we had a lot of opportunities because this NEC team apparently yesterday they beat a team 27-0, and to see that they struggled to really do much in this game shows you that the team, Kaizer Chiefs really did give a good account of themselves. But anyway, other than that, it was an okay game, of course.